Morning, Overlanders. Dave with Weekend Overlanding. Got a video today. It's going to be a little bit different. Instead of being a little bit more freeform, it's got my papers this time. It's an outline. Now, this video is going to be about our guided fall tour. Okay, it's a guided fall color tour and intro to overlanding. The most important part of that is intro to overlanding. What it's not, it is not a trip for people who are seasoned and want to take the challenges and push their rigs to the limit and cover lots of land. And this is more for, now first of all, you're definitely welcome to go. It doesn't matter what skill level you're at. Just be aware that this is based on a modified Trans-Wisconsin Adventure Trail map. Now this is changed quite a bit because of A, where the lodging would be, and B, in the interest of keeping this 3-day event, or 2.5 days technically. This is something that we have, me and Thomas from Chicago Overlanding have tailored. Now let me start from the beginning here. We're looking at dates of October 6th through 8th. The 8th is Columbus Day. A lot of kids are going to have off of school. A lot of people could take off of work. Part of that reasoning is that right then we'll have pretty much close to peak colors, and from the start to maybe up to the Nicolay, and then after that it might even be already a little late for that, but kids will be out of school. It's a family affair. I really feel that we should be doing this as family friendly. This is basically a road trip with stop off for camping, lodging. I'll cover that in a minute. So October 6th through 8th, there will be a fee for the event. It is a $75 fee. It will be due with the entry form by September 17th. So there's been some contention about that, but this is set up for somebody who's going to be entry level. You're not going to need a lot of equipment, if any. I'm going to cover that in a minute. The next thing is kind of the basic itinerary. We're going to start in the area of Sparta-Toma, where the 90-94 split, which is basically approximately like 3.5 hours from Chicago. It's just north of the Dells, if most people will know in this area from where the Dells is. So Saturday the 6th, 7:30 a.m. is rendezvous. Now, one of the things about that is you sure can drive up that morning if you want. It's a 3.5 hour drive. I do recommend staying the night before. I will be, the other trail bosses, other people who are organizers are going to be, they're going to be staying in the Sparta-Toma area the night before. So Friday night we'll be driving up individually. That's purely up to you. We are not making special arrangements for that, so you'd be on your own setting up hotel or camping reservations. Okay, the start, like I said, is Saturday 6th at 7:30, or the rendezvous. The first day we're going to be driving northbound, and it's going to be kind of a northeast route, and it's going to cover mostly back roads, which are farm roads, country roads. A lot of them, actually a good majority of them, will be unimproved and or should I say unpaved roads. They'll be improved, but they'll be unpaved. So we got dirt roads, sandy roads, forestry roads, U.S. Forestry Service, DNR, logging roads, fire access roads. So there's a lot of mapping that had gone through, and a lot of dry runs that we've already covered, Thomas and I, to get to this. So basically day one will continue on, and It ends right near the Nicolay National Forest. It's going to be a full day run. Expect to, we leave after the rendezvous and expect to be a full day up to about 6 o'clock, somewhere roughly around there. We will have routine fuel stops that are scheduled. We can work around people's tank capacity and all that and do unscheduled if need be. Just need some warning for that. That's part of organizing an event that is for beginners and an introductory event. So after that, we'll spend a nice evening. Now there will be a lunch break in there. There'll be a dinner at the end of it. You are more than welcome to bring your own food, but remember it may be weather dependent if you can cook it or not. So that's completely up to you. There will be restaurants that are in the area or short drives thereof from the lodging facilities. Lodging facility information will be forthcoming when people are RSVPing and discussing with me more or with Thomas about the trip. So day two will start somewhere near the or in towards the center of the Nicolay National Forest and pick up the trail from there. So from there on, we're going to do a quick tour that will run northbound, and we'll eventually stop right around, rendezvous time is going to be right around the same time, so you can expect about 7:30 in the morning rendezvous time, leave shortly after, and then from there, right around 11 o'clock, be a brunch stop over at the famous Delta Diner in Delta, Wisconsin. You can look that up. A lot of overlanders, a lot of dual sport guys take pictures by the signs. Really a neat place, and it's really worth the stop. So after that, we would continue further north. Now, from there, we're going to hit the most northern point in Wisconsin that you can do on the most northern point that you can hit on without going to the Apostle Islands. So on the actual mainland, that's as high as you're going to be, or furthest north as you can be able to get, and that usually happens depending on scheduling. Somewhere we expect to be about 4 o'clock. So at that point, there will be a on-road, main road return trip to our camping and lodging facilities. Expect to return once again at about 6 o'clock. And we're going to spend the night and expect to leave in the morning on day 3, which will be Monday the 8th, Columbus Day, at your leisure, and drive back using main roads. That part of it isn't necessarily caravan or guided. That's pretty much punch in your address and go on your Navi. If you need assistance in that, you can definitely run with us, and we can take you all the way back on main roads to the Chicago area. So in all of that, I want you to expect that we will have planned stops for lunch and dinner. Breakfast will be on you. 7:30 in the morning rendezvous time. So basically, the one major modification I have questions about is I thought that the Trans-Wisconsin Adventure Trail starts in Galena, Illinois. Well, just north of Galena, yes, it does. Remember, this is a modified one. In the interest of time, we have removed that first day, which is mostly on road with small little loop detours of off-road that take these little detours that are scenic. It's beautiful. There are some great areas to see over there, but most people in the Chicago area, most people in Illinois, most people in southern part of southeast Wisconsin, southwest Wisconsin, will hook that and do that run individually as a day trip. So I'm taking the most interesting and the most completely off the beaten path part of it, and that's the part that people will need guidance on. That's the part that people may be worried about mapping and all of that. So that's the furthest away from civilization too in most cases. So my suggestion is, you know, if you're interested in that first day, go ahead and do that first day, but you know, follow the Trans-Wisconsin. But this is a guided tour, and this is a modified version of this. So another thing to expect is expect to be rerouted. Expect that there may be bridges out because of storms that have happened in the past. We've had some serious rains up there, and you know, there is areas with bridges that have been completely out, and apparently no one knows how to drive today. So there are areas with bridges out. There are areas that have, you know, roads that have closures. Another thing that happens is a lot of the northern roads there are forest, that are logging roads. Those can be absolutely closed without any notice, without any map change, without anything, and a new road that didn't exist can be there. It's part of the fun of doing this trip, part of the fun of being, you know, overlanding. So there is some rerouting that will happen, expect it. Some of it may be reroute to paved roads, expect it. So moving on from there, really quickly, we're going to cover some of the things that you are going to be required. There's not a lot. Remember, this is an intro. So in an intro trip and a learning classroom type experience, where you will get an idea of either A, do you like overlanding? This is a taste. You might say this isn't for me. The next piece of that puzzle is, do I need to buy a lot of equipment? It depends on what level you're planning on achieving. But generally speaking, your required equipment for the trip to join us in this is going to be as follows. You're going to need some type of vehicle that's going to be an all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, 4x4 type vehicle. Proper tires, an AT style tire or better or something of such will be required. That's 2. A shovel. You're going to need a spade style shovel. You probably won't need it, but if you do, you need to have it. Everyone needs to have one of those. Then on top of that, number 4, you're going to need some type of cheap bubble pack radio GMRS FRS frequencies. There's a video I made in the past that will cover some of the models that are $30 for a pair, so don't expect to spend a lot of money. 1 gallon of drinking water minimum. So whether it's in small little individual bottles of some sort, or if it's in 1 big gallon jug you bought at the 7-Eleven for $1, that's fine. You just need to have at least 1 gallon of water. There's a lot of reasons for it, including drinking. First aid kit. Mild, small first aid kit. A lot of cars came with it. It's just a general thing you should always carry in your car no matter what. The other thing you must remember is to bring, don't forget any of the meds you may need or you take on a regular basis, or you may need in an emergency that are specialized. Because in the North Woods, you may not be able to get that right away. That might be a 2-day waiting period to get it up there. So keep that in mind. Also remember, this is not on a required list, but remember, this will be October in the North Woods. You got to bring clothing for any condition at that point. I mean, it could be raining, it could be snowing, there could be, you know, soupy mud. So you got to make sure you've got, you know, boots and shirts and changes of clothing and all that you need. Stuff you're going to need for lodging, whether it's camping or staying in a rental. I will answer that individually to people. Now, the trail guides. The trail guides and the trail bosses will have a lot of the things that you... Wait, I might need this. No. We're going to have things like recovery gear, traction aids, jacks, toolkits. Complete toolkits are pretty complete. Scan tools, tire repair kits, gas cans. You know, we're going to have a jerry can, at least of fuel, if not more. Mapping software, hardware, all the maps that go with it, the ability and the experience to do such. Jump box, extra backup radios. Now, the biggest thing that you can lean on us for will be our knowledge of overlanding, the knowledge of running a group expedition for expedition travel of any sort, And this specific trail, you don't even need to know how to look at a map. You don't even have to know how a compass works. You have to know nothing. You have to bring those few items I talked about earlier, and I'm going to post all of this listed in printable form in the short future. Now, another question came up. Well, besides that, what else do I get? Well, there's going to be what Thomas likes to call a swag bag, which is a giveaway bag or giveaways that will have things like possibly t-shirts, thermal mugs, stickers. There's going to be a special sticker for completion. It's going to be a badge of honor type thing. And there'll be a lot of stuff like that is going to be included. It's going to be a great time. It's family friendly, dog friendly to an extent. Obviously, you're not going to bring 14 of them and have them run around. Questions, concerns, please. If you want any more information, you can contact me or Thomas at the following. You can contact me at weekendoverlanding@gmail.com, or Thomas is available at info@chicagooverlanding.com. So remember to like my videos, remember to subscribe to my channel, and feel free to share this with friends, share this with other groups, and help people get into our great and very accommodating hobby that is family friendly. So once again, thanks for watching my videos, and please, if you have any questions, email us or comment. Thank you.